So welcome back to the Happiness series, and today 10 of part 2. So of course, apart from today's exercise, we're almost at the end of part 2. But hopefully over the last 9 or 10 days, you've really started to get a bit more of a sense of what this quality of empathy or understanding or of compassion is. As I say, it's something innate, like so many of the qualities we've been looking at throughout the Headspace journey. It's not something that we need to create in any way at all. In fact, it's more about noticing what it is we do that gets in the way of us experiencing this natural kind of quality. But it's also about noticing about how in our mind we can sort of differentiate sometimes between the difficulty or suffering which is experienced by those close to us and how we naturally want them to be free from that, and those a little bit further away, maybe people we don't know, or perhaps even people we don't like. But it's only when we allow ourselves to feel it fully that we get to experience the benefits from it. And of course, this is the Happiness series, and it's looking at the relationship between that experience of compassion and our own sense of contentment. And as long as we're limited in our sense of compassion in any way at all, then our contentment, our own sense of happiness will always be limited as well. So it's in allowing that compassion, that empathy to be sort of limitless, to be boundless, that we allow ourselves to experience a greater sense of happiness and contentment. As I mentioned earlier on in part 2, this doesn't mean just allowing people to do whatever they want to do, to being walked over and to somehow rationalizing that in some kind of strange act of compassion. That's not what it's about. There will be times, there will be circumstances where you may well need to act, to say something. You may well need to remove yourself from a situation. And there will always be those two aspects, both of the very worldly, direct experience of our everyday environment, and then that bigger idea of boundless kind of compassion. And slowly we can move from a place of aspiring that sort of boundless compassion to actually engaging with it in everyday life. But we've still got today's meditation to go, so just take a moment or two to get comfortable. And when you're ready, just starting in the usual way, with some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just closing the eyes with the next out breath. As you just settle in the space around you. And as you just begin to slowly scan down through the body now, just noticing those physical sensations and also the way in which those sensations are being observed. So just noticing the general sort of emotional tone of the mind. And as you pause just briefly before shifting the attention to the breath, just being sure in your own mind about your intention, making sure that's free from expectation, but at the same time aware of how that can benefit other people in your life. So now just letting the focus naturally drift to the breath, wherever it is in the body where you feel that movement. And just resting the attention there just for the next couple of minutes. And in your own time now, just beginning the visualization. Nice and slowly just reminding yourself of those qualities. And then just watching as it expands in every direction as far as it possibly can. And when it feels as though it's gone as far as it can in every direction, just letting go of the image, letting go of any focus on anything in particular, just letting the mind wander off and do whatever it wants to do, just for the next 20 or 30 seconds or so. And then just bringing the attention back to the body, back to the experience of weight, of gravity, as each of the physical senses starts to become a little bit more active, begin to become more aware of the space around you as you open your eyes. Just pausing before changing the posture. Be clear how you feel in the moment. Be clear how much more pleasant, a softer, kinder mind feels. And just putting in that intention to be present with that throughout the day today. And when you've done that, you can just sit back in the chair. Well done for completing part 2 of the happiness series. So we're halfway through already. And as I said at the beginning, hopefully it's starting to become more obvious just how natural these qualities are. How they're there all the time. We don't really need to do very much to experience them. It's more about noticing what it is we do that prevents us from experiencing them. But do continue to sort of reflect on what it is, what those moments are that prevent you from experiencing that natural sense of connectedness, of actually meeting another person where they are, rather than where you think they are, or where you think they could be, or should be, or might have been. Instead, simply meeting them in the moment. Again, compassion and awareness, they're not really kind of separate. We often talk about them, or I often talk about them in different ways, and we talk about different techniques which emphasize either awareness or compassion, but really we're talking about the same thing. If we're present in the moment with an open mind, a mind which isn't judging, that isn't critical, that's not projecting forward, that's not thinking back, but that's simply present there and then we'll inevitably experience a softer mind, a kinder mind, a mind which is grounded in empathy, understanding, and compassion. So again, well done for completing part 2 of the happiness series, and I look forward to seeing you back here for day 1 of part 3. I'll see you then.